This is George. And George is, like a lot of Bostons and a lot of little dogs, smaller dogs are typically, they're lower on the food chain, and so a lot of times they're twitchy. So for George, his guardians notice if people reach for him, he kind of pulls back. You see him kind of pulling away. Now, I should have filmed this earlier because we worked with him on this a little bit, but I'm going to basically, if you have a dog that's trepidatious about being touched, now you can see he's not trepidatious before, but when I first met him, this is a lot of times before they get to know someone. So what I did was basically, although I tore these treats in half because you're a little guy and I actually need full treats for this. I'm going to use a principle of counter conditioning to help him feel good. Now with the little treats, what you can do you ever carry him or do you mostly just have him on the
I usually have him on me.
Okay. So for a lot of dogs, if little dogs, sometimes you will carry them and sometimes they get possessive of the human. So if that's the case, if you're holding him, you're going to have somebody in there, oh, can I pet him? Before they do that, ask them to come and give him a treat first while he's in your arms. And then he starts to associate when people come nearby, they're just coming to pay homage to me and give me a little tribute. All right, so what I'm going to do for this is I'm just going to use one. I'm going to try to hide these on the floor. So I have a Tricky Trainer treat. These are soft and chewy. They're chicken livers. They're a meat treat, and they have a very strong smell, as you can see. I can lure him away. He smelled the ones on the floor. I'm going to squish it to make it like a pancake. All right, we'll put these in my pocket if I need to. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let him start chewing on it first. Now, what I did earlier is I just moved very slowly. During counter conditioning, you want the dog to feel comfortable and not feel threatened. So if I move too fast, that would have probably spooked him. So all I did is I just moved several times, and I'm letting him nibble on little bits of this treat, and I'm letting him get it, but not all at once. All right, so that was the whole treat. So the second time, I'm going to do the same thing, but this time I might move a little bit faster. Now for dogs, a lot of times touching their collar is hard for them. But you want your dog not to be spooked, because if your dog runs away, people are going to try to snatch the collar to hold on to your dog. If the only time that happens, people snatch the collar or grab the collar like that is when he's free and they're trying to restrain him, that creates a negative association. So getting him to chew on the treat first, and then going faster and faster, until you can go really fast like this and he's not responding. So the next time we do it, when I get another treat out, is we actually do the touching. So he's getting desensitized to this and also creating a positive association, because when somebody grabs my collar, I have this tasty treat in my mouth. So now at first, like I said, I kind of regret that I wasn't filming this before, because I reached for him, he would lean away or get up and move away. So if you have a small dog, it's pretty normal for dogs to do that, especially people they don't know. This is why early socialization is so important for a puppy. He's 5 months now. So he's out of his critical socialization period, but one of the things I told his guardian to do is when he's out walking around, everybody wants to pet him. Now for a dog, I'll show you even counter conditioning. Well, I'm surprised. Usually leaning over a dog will cause a dog to run away. That's a domination thing. Also for dogs, especially the cute little dogs like this, a lot of kids will come and swarm around him. That can make them feel overwhelmed. So if you have a dog that is anxious, nervous, don't let people overwhelm them. If you run across a bunch of kids, can I pet your dog? Absolutely, but he gets a little nervous if it's a bunch of people. Can you make a line? And then make a line, and they come up one at a time. You can control the situation a little bit better. Makes it easier for the dog. Now, the front facing is confrontational. This is a confrontational approach. And also, if the dog puts his paw on your arm, and I allow him to continue, I'm going to make it harder to see if he'll do this. This is how you teach a shake, actually. You put it there and don't let the dog get it, and then they'll eventually paw at it with their hand. But he was doing it before. But if he puts his paw on your arm and you don't disagree, then you agree with him trying to dominate you. So immediately pull the treat away. So he does that. That's good. Sit. Good. Please. I think that might just be coincidental that he's leaning forward, but it could be a way of saying please. All right. So when you're out and about and you meet people, can I pet your dog? Would you like to give him a treat? Oh, I'd love to give him a treat. So one up them. When they want to give your dog a treat, a lot of people dogs learn through this. If I could speak, dogs learn through repetition, consistency, and good timing. Now, a lot of people, they tell the dog, sit, look, he's sitting, look how cute, look at this cute little dog, he's sitting, look, and they hold the treat like this, and it creates this. So what I do is I say, can I give your dog a treat, or pet your dog? Are you going to give him a treat? Sure, I'd love to give him a treat. I do it first. I use this hand motion to put him into a sit. So what I do is I have my hand flat, and I go over and arc over their head. As soon as he does it, I let him lick it off my hand, I say the word sit, or whatever the word is, and then I tickle under his chin so we facilitate a nose-up orientation. Dogs that feel proud about themselves have the nose in the air. And then what I do is I hand the treat to the next person, and they do the same thing. sit and scratch him under his chin. Now, I'll show you again, if he dances, my way of saying I don't want that, there is one back there. All right, come here. Sit. As I bend my elbow away like that. Gentle. So that's my way of saying that's not what I want. A lot of dogs are like, I'll make it easy for you. I'll put my mouth where that treat is and jump up. But we're teaching the dog that's proper to jump up on people. We generally don't want our dogs to do this. I don't mind, but I mean, this just is a lack of impulse control from him. So teaching him that climbing up on a human results in, one of the things I talk to the guardians about is immediately stop petting your dog. If you're petting your dog and it jumps up on you, stop petting it. That's a way of saying, I don't like what you were just doing. What you just did stopped me from petting you. Sit. 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 Now he's in playful mode right now, so I'm going to wait a little bit of a pause. There we go. So I'm able to get him to stay in a sit just by withdrawing my attention anytime he gets out of the sit. Now he's looking for the treats that I dropped behind me on the floor. Sometimes one thing might be a distractor, but sometimes it can be helpful. If I have the treat here, I can pet him, and kind of like what I was doing before. If you want the treat, you have to allow me to pet you, or grab your collar, or do whatever the thing is. So this is basically a really simple technique, but if you have a dog, early socialization is huge. So if everywhere you go, he meets new people, and they're associated with give me a treat, but only give me a treat when I sit, after a while, the dog will learn what we call manding, or learning to mand. He'll just go and sit in front of people and say, hey, sucker, a little Boston Terrier sitting in front of you, why aren't you petting me? Because we've taught them this is the polite way to ask a dog to sit. Let's see if we can do that one more time. Sit. This is how you can use positive reinforcement to make your dog feel comfortable about being touched by other people.